Hi, Rabotai. Welcome to our Monday night shiur. Today is a very every night is a special night, but tonight is the Hillula. With Hashem, we're gonna do a pitichat eichal after the shiur, a couple of minutes. It's the Hillula of the AYIN. I know people are here asking, who in the world is the AYIN? I was zocheh every time I go to Tzfat to daven by the kever of the Ari. Obviously, when I go to Tzfat, the first kever that I go to the daven is the Ari HaKadosh. Then I make my way down a bit to the Bet Yosef. Maran Shulchan Aruch, he's right below, a couple of steps down. Right across over there is the AYIN. There's the Radbaz, the Al-Sheikh, and the AYIN. Who's the AYIN?
The AYIN.
His name was Rabbi Avraham Dov ben Rabbi David. He married the daughter of the Baal Shem Tov student, Rav Natan, his name was. And he wasn't just a tzaddik. I'm going to tell you a story right now. He was me'id al atzmo. Me'id, how you say me'id? He testified about himself. He was never pogem his brit. He testified on himself. He never in his life was pogem his brit milah. Like Yosef HaTzadik. And tonight, whoever is listening, whoever will listen, you should know the 12th of Kislev. And it's from Hashem because I totally forgot about it and I was reminded about it. When you know why it happens like that, why you're reminded about things, because Hashem wants you to, He wants you to do something about it. He wants His name to be remembered. So it's mamash, it's like it's davar gadol meod. And you're sitting over here, you're eating in his Hillula, you're connecting to the tzaddik. You never know. Rabbi Yehuda Ptaya, who we Sfaradim, we love him balev u'banefesh. For us, Minchat Yehuda is more than a Musar book. It's the first sefer that I ever translated in this shul more than 10 years ago was the Minchat Yehuda. That's actually how I started doing shiurim. It's actually how I started for the Minchat Yehuda. This was before you guys. Way before. I used to give private shiurim in my father's house on Minchat Yehuda. Anyways, so the AYIN, he never had children. He passed away childless. And we know that when a tzaddik prays for something a lot and he didn't get answered, the prayers help for the people who come afterwards. And since we're connecting them on the day of his Hillula, it's very significant if person lights a candle for him tonight and he prays le'iladim. And if he has children, they should be tzaddikim. Amen. They should go b'derech haTorah u'mitzvot u'masim tovim. I'm just going to say two small stories about the AYIN, then we're going to go to our topic. Rabbi Avraham, he was the student of the Baal Shem Tov. He lived in the 1800s. When he was in Europe, in Poland, the Baal Shem Tov, one of the main things that he did, he instilled inside the Chassidim, the love for Eretz Israel. The Baal Shem Tov himself, a couple of times he wanted to go to Israel. Lo istaya milta. It didn't happen. One time he went to Israel and he actually lost his book that was written, a Tehillim that was written by David HaMelech. He had a Tehillim that was written by David HaMelech. He was on his way to Eretz Israel to meet the Or HaChaim HaKadosh, the great Sephardic Moroccan sage, the Or HaChaim. And there was a tsunami in the middle of the sea. He took his Tehillim that was written by David HaMelech. How did he acquire? It's a different story. And he took the Tehillim and he said, Sar Shel Yam, the minister of the sea, I'm giving you a korban right now. Let me go to Eretz Israel. You threw the Tehillim inside the sea. He threw the Tehillim inside the sea. The sea calmed down. He went a couple of more days into the sea. Again, tsunami. This time, the Baal Shem Tov said to the sea, I have nothing more to give you. He turned the ship around and he went back home. They say if the Baal Shem Tov would have met Mashiach or Chaim HaKadosh, it would have been the connection between Mashiach ben Yosef and Mashiach ben David, and that would have been the end of the story. That's what that till today, the Chassidim, they learn the Orach Chaim HaKadosh even more than the Sfaradim. I was in the square. You ever been to New Square where the Chassidim, men walk on one side, women walk on the other side? New Square. You know the orange juice New Square? I was over there for one night, for one Shabbat. Shabbaton. They only have one shul in the whole New Square, by the way. They don't allow any other shuls. One shul. Everybody has to be united. And the parochet, by the way, is plain. Just a crown, a small crown on it. The hechal is at least, I would say, 50 feet tall. The hechal is 50 feet tall. And when I go inside over there, inside the shul, one wall, all Orach Chaim HaKadosh. Everything Orach Chaim HaKadosh. The square Chassidim have a minhag to finish the Tehillim before they pray Shacharit. So they start Shacharit a bit late. They wake up at 7, everyone finishes the Tehillim every Shabbat, and then they pray Shacharit. A whole town. It's a town called New Square. I think we're Sfaradim. We have to keep to our own minhagim. But it's a good minhag, I'm saying. It was very uplifting Shabbat. Yeshivat Lamanachai, every year, once a year, they go over there, Parashat Acharei Mot Kedoshim, for a Shabbat in New Square. I had the merit of meeting the Skver Rebbe, the current Skver Rebbe, and I could attest to the fact that I saw Sidur Harashash of the Ari HaKadosh inside the Skver Rebbe's library. He was upset. He was upset that I was snooping around in his library. All the kids went in. I went inside them. I was a teacher back then. I was a biology teacher. This was the first year that I got married. I didn't have money to pay for the wedding ring. You got to pay for your own wedding ring. So the Rebbe of Lamanachai, he said, I'll give you a job, as I had a biology degree. So I'll give you a job as a biology teacher. So that was my first job. I taught biology. Already since then, I started growing white hair. So he went to New Square. I went to the Square Rebbe. He's a big tzaddik, very big tzaddik. I give advice to everyone wants to meet a real tzaddik to go over there one time. Motzei Shabbat, this is a Kabbalat Kahal. You go over there, you get a bracha. You could speak to him. He's very open. He's a very open Rebbe. He's not a very closed Rebbe. He speaks to you. He laughs with you. He loves Sfaradim, by the way. And over there on the top shelf, if I remember correctly, where he sits, let's say I'm sitting over here, let's say, right over here, to his right, there's a library, and there's 3 Sidurim, old Sidur HaRashash. 3 Sidurim over there, Sidur HaRashash of the... And when I was looking at it, apparently he said in Yiddish, my brother understood, I didn't understand. He's like, what is this guy snooping around in my library over there? I didn't know myself, you know. But he has those farim. So the Chassidim, back to the Chassidim, but AYIN, we got a little tangent over here. He went to the... He met over there. So he loved Eretz Yisrael. The Baal Shem loved Eretz Yisrael. He loved Eretz Yisrael. And we have a tradition. Anytime a person goes to a tzaddik, you are in the vicinity of Eretz Yisrael. You should know that. It's mamash like Eretz Yisrael. Also, when you dip inside the mikveh, you have Kiddushat, Eretz Yisrael. So there was you know what a shadran is? You know, like you have this past Shabbat person came to the Bet Knesset, he was asking for tzedakah. He was from Yerushalayim. So back then, many of the people who asked for tzedakah was from Tzfat. Because Yerushalayim there was like 4 Jews over there. And that's it back then. Most of the Jews were in Tzfat. So there was one shadran, one guy, collecting money for Tzfat. And he goes to the Bat Ayin, or Avraham Dov's shul. And Rav Avram, he was a chassid. So he tells him, yeah, it was machzin, you know. What's going on in Tzfat? He said, oh, Rebbe, you don't know. He was already a big Rebbe back then. He said, you don't know. The stones of Eretz Yisrael shine like diamonds. The stones. You hear about that? He told him, you know, go out in the street, you have stones, yes? He said, the stones shine like diamonds. You hearing there yet? The Bat Ayin heard that. What do you think he did? Rabotai, what do you think he did? Started crying. He picked up his bags, told his wife, Yalla, we're going. We're moving to Eretz Yisrael. It's true. It's a true story. This is a true story. It's not a legend.
He moved to where? From where he moved from?
From Ukraine.
Okay,
Yeah. To Eretz Yisrael. It's not a short journey. He gets to the Namal. The Namal was in Istanbul. How you go? Spain and Turkey, right? Turkey is in Europe. Half of Turkey is in Europe. He traveled by horse and buggy. He gets to Istanbul. Over there was the port to get to Haifa. Haifa was the only port back then. He gets on the ship. It's a 2-month trek to Haifa, through the Mediterranean. Mediterranean Sea is a huge sea. It's huge. He gets into the Mediterranean Sea, and suddenly a tsunami. Mamash, a tsunami in the middle of the ocean. Almost the ship is about to break. He writes this in his book. He has a book called Bat AYIN. That's why we call him the Bat AYIN. The ship is about to break. He goes to the edge of the ship. He's not afraid. And he says, R.Shalom, the minister of the sea, calm down. Why? Because I never touched my brit. Because I never touched my brit. Like Yosef HaTzadik, and we know the sea split because of that's what we say in Hallel, right? Right? That's what we say. It's a famous pasuk in Hallel. And the sea calmed down. And a 2-month voyage that it took him to usually takes to go to Haifa, he made it in 2 weeks. The minister of the sea got so flabbergasted. He got him there in 2 weeks. That's how he writes in his book Bat AYIN. He gets to Tzfat, and where does he go to? Obviously Tzfat. But he gets to Tzfat, the Bat AYIN. What does he see over there? There's no diamonds. Everything is stones. He meets the guy who came to collect the money. You told me I'm finding diamonds over here. It's all stones. He tells him, what? You have to have a zechut. You have to have a merit to see the diamonds. But AYIN says, that's the case? These were real Chassidim back then. Not like today. They grow the peot, put the top hat, and the bucket chair, and that's it. I'm a Chassid. No, Chassid means to work on yourself. He goes, he closes himself in his house for 1 year. For 1 year he closes his house, he comes outside, what does he see? Diamonds. Yeah, now I see the diamonds. In the mid-1800s, there was an earthquake in Tzfat. One of the major earthquakes. And Israel was also home to many catastrophes, natural catastrophes, including a very big earthquake in the 1800s in Tzfat. Every house, 80% of the city was leveled, except for 3 shuls. The shul of the Ari HaKadosh, the shul of the Mahari Abohab, the shul of the Mahari Abohab. I'm going to tell you guys one thing, and I'm telling you, Rabotai, listen to this, you're going to hear something amazing. The Mahari Abohab was from Spain. How did his shul get to Tzfat? It's the exact same shul that he prayed in Spain, got to Tzfat. How did it get there? It flew. Yeah, it flew. How? One time the Mahari Abohab was in Spain. He's in the Shulchan Aruch. He's the Rebbe of the Shulchan Aruch, by the way. He calls him my Rebbe, the Mahari Abohab. He says one day they're in shul, and people start to talk in the shul. When is the worst time to talk in the shul? The worst? When they're reading the Torah and when they're doing Chazara. Chazara, the repetition. He tells the guys he's already old. When a rabbi gets old already, so he tells him, listen, he tells the people, you got to stop talking in shul. I could embarrass you guys. Halachically, I'm allowed to embarrass you. Beseder, rabbi, no. 1 week, 2 weeks. Guys, you're not gonna listen to me. Lo tov. It's not gonna be good at the end. Yeah, rabbi, we're not allowed to talk. We can't talk in shul. One day, he's inside the Beit HaKnesset. He starts to pray. Aravit. Regular Aravit. By the time he finished the Aravit, he walked out of the shul. Where was he? In Tzfat. That's the famous Mahari Abohab shul in Tzfat.
This congregation by himself.
By himself. He walked out of the shul. That's it. He was the Mahari Abohab inside Tzfat. Till today we have the shul of the Mahari Abohab. I was zochet to pray over there. And I could attest in his shul, there are 6 steps to the middle of in the shul. The bima has to be 6 steps. Has to be why? You're walking the 6 steps of Yitzirah. There are 6 sfirot of Yitzirah. You have to walk up to them until you get to a certain place in Yitzirah, and then the chazan has to start from there. So in the Mari Abu Hab shul, they have 6 steps to the Ayatest. I was there. So 3 shuls in the great earthquake didn't get touched. Mari Abu Hab, the Ariyah Kadosh, and the Bad Ayin. What happened to the Bad Ayin shul? What happened over there? In the middle of the earthquake, there's a dome. In Israel, they're all domes, right? The shuls are all domes. Like the dome of the rock. Lahavdil elef havdalot. So he was under the dome, and the dome was shaking like it's about to fall on him. And the whole shul is in the middle of Shacharit. He lies down in the middle of the dome. The Bad Ayin, who were celebrating his Hillula tonight, he lies down face down with his legs and hands spread all the way, and he says, "Guys, hold on to me." Wow. He said, "Rabbi, you lost it. We're in the middle of an earthquake over here. We gotta run. We gotta find a bunker. Guys, hold on to me. Nothing is gonna happen to you." All the shul jumps on top of him, like one of those. They all jump on top of the Bad Ayin. The whole shul breaks down except for the dome in the middle, with 4 poles spreading to the 4 corners of the shul. Everything else collapses. Everyone is under the dome. Who's touching the Bad Ayin gets saved. Till today, we have the same exact shul. You could go there and see the dome. In the Tzefat, I was there, by the way. I had the zchut of going there and davening over there. I was over there and I davened over there in Tzefat. The same dome is still there. Then they built an extension later on, the new shul of the Bad Ayin. The new one, you could go over there and pray. My wish, guys, I'm telling you, guys will gain so much if I would take you guys on a trip to Eretz Yisrael. I would do this. I can't really see. Trust me, I'm as blind as a bat. My wish is to take you guys to Eretz Yisrael. I would take you to places that you would never dream of going in your life. Never dream. Places, mamash, where I will take you to the grave of Shem. Shem, the son of Noah. He was the king of Yerushalayim. I'm not telling you my secrets. I'm not telling you my secrets.
Why is it your secret?
You're right, but now I know and you don't know. So for a while it's a secret, I reveal a lot of secrets, by the way, but this is my secret. One day we make one nice trip to Eretz Yisrael.
Let's go.
We're gonna see the Mikvah Kedoshim, Amash. You're gonna feel like you're in Olam Haba. Olam Haba, I'm telling you. You're gonna meet Mikubalim over there that your eyes. You will think you're seeing people from 300 years ago. I remember once I went to Yerushalayim. To a certain yeshiva. I was davening there with Sfirat HaOmer time. I sat over there. It was Aravit. We're praying Aravit. It was Omer. Mekubalim don't do any kavanot. No kavanot. Everything Perusha Milim. Yeah, but they have kavanah of the word. We're there davening. After davening, I went there to get a bracha from the oldest tzaddik over there. He was back then 100 and he was 97 back then. Now he's over 102. I went to get a bracha. There was a guy over there, a tzaddik, standing next to me. The tefillah is over. I'm sweating already. I was so nervous in my tefillah. I was sweating. I asked the older fellow standing next to me, "Where's the?" He wouldn't talk in the shul. Gabriel. Aravit was over. He wouldn't talk. He's maybe, I would give him at least 80. He said, He did like this. Like, he's over there. Like, he wouldn't talk in the Beit HaKnesset. If a person would do that every single day of his life and take that upon himself, you know what kind of madregot you would get to? It's unbelievable. Why? Avirah de Eretz Yisrael machkim. The air of Eretz Yisrael is holy. So we're sitting over here. We're celebrating the Yulav Bad Ayin. Zechutei Gadaev, Amen. He wasn't just a tzaddik. He was a giant. And He didn't marry to have children. He didn't marry to have children. So whoever's listening to the shiur or listen, you know people, all sigulot have a reason. We're not over here tzaddikim yisod olam. Nobody here is the Ari, this, that. We're no babas. There was one Baba Sali and that's it. We don't have any more babas. But if you know someone or you yourself light a candle, Nishmat, Lezecher Tzaddik HaKadosh, Rabbi Avraham, Dov ben Rabbi David, Bala Bat Ayin. Bala Bat Ayin. I was just remembering when I was telling you guys just right now, if I would go to Israel, where I would take you. There is a Ma'ara, there is a cave in Tzfat that I know of that's buried over there, one of the 10 martyrs. But we said, remember I told you guys the Kavanah, if you don't have this Kavanah, that your tefillah doesn't go up from the Ari Kadosh. I know where the grave of Rabbi Chutzpit HaMeturgeman is. Do you know who I know is buried in Tzfat? In Tzfat, Adino HaEtzoni. You know who that is? He's the biggest general of David HaMelech. He used to kill. I'm not making no midrash, nothing. This is straight words of the book of Shmuel. Facts. This is, he used to kill in one war, in one sit, in one battle, 700 men, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe 7, maybe 8. By himself, with one throw of the spear. I'm not making this up. That's what's written in the book of Shmuel. There was another general he had. He had 37 main generals. 37 major generals. One of them was called Elazar ben Dodo. From the blood that he would be slicing around over there, the sword, because blood is hot, would get, congeal, warped into his hand after the battle. From the blood would come down when he used to fight the enemies. Amalek, when he used to fight Amalek, the sword would get, the heat of the blood, with the sword would melt into his skin. He couldn't get the sword out afterwards. And I didn't even get up to Yoav. His general Yoav. He's the great general. I didn't even get up to him. He's the 5th general. He's the 5th in ranks. Adino HaEtzoni is first. Elazar ben Dodo is after him. I forget the other 3. The other 2. Yoav is number 5. Then there's Benayal ben Yoyada. You know who that is? He went to do Gilgul HaSheleg. You know what Gilgul HaSheleg is? Why? Because they used to do a lot of Kabbalah Ma'asit back in the day. They used to use practical Kabbalah, and the tikkun for that is every time you use it, even though they were allowed, they had the Efer Para Aduma, the red cow thing, they were allowed to use it. We're not allowed to use such thing. We're not tahor. We're not tahor. He used to use these things, but he still used to do a tikkun. The Ari says, what's the tikkun? You have to roll in the snow 7 times. He once went to roll inside the snow. He ends up in a pit. What was waiting for him over there? A lion. He's naked in the snow.
No sword.
He's rolling that snow. He's inside. No sword, no nothing. He fights out and he rips him into 2.
Wow.
This is not a midrash. It's not a midrash. This is written in the book of Shemuel. Benayal ben Yoyada. And by the way, I was zochet to pray by his grave 3 times already in my life. 3 times. If I would go to Israel with you guys, I would take you over there too.
I'm ready.
You're ready. Benayal ben Yoyada. And he fought a Mitzri. I think it was a Mitzri or a Plishti with 6 fingers on each hand and leg. 6 fingers. Yeah. And each hand and leg, and he knocked him. That's Benayal ben Yoyada. These were the tzaddikim of old. When Mashiach comes, Rat Hashem, all of you guys who strive to be close to Hashem, you will turn into these tzaddikim. Tell me you didn't feel some kind of spark of holiness right now. Tell me you didn't. You did. I know you did. Don't mess with me. You did. There will be. Because Mashiach, the Rambam says Mashiach has 3 jobs. Number 1, gather all the Jews. First he has to build the Beit HaMikdash, says the Rambam. First, he must build the Beit HaMikdash. Then, he fights the wars of Hashem. That's with the Erev Rav. That's Mashiach ben Yosef's job. I'm talking about Mashiach ben David. Mashiach ben Yosef has to deal with the Erev Rav. which I'm feeling right now we're seeing an end to them. I'm feeling we're getting very close to that point in history. I want to tell you something, guys, why I'm saying this right now. It's connected to what I'm saying. I have a book in my house called Chesed LaAvraham. For many moons, I wanted to do this book with you guys, but I never got a chance to because it's very deep secrets. This is the great-grandfather. People say he's the grandfather. It's wrong. They don't know what they're talking about. It's the great-grandfather of the Chida, the great Sephardic sage, who we call Maran. We call him our master. The Chida had a great-grandfather. He digged into Rav Chaim Vital's grave. Some say it was his grave. Some say it was his geniza. It's two different versions. And he took out of there what we learn every Monday night over here, Otzrot Chaim. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have a Otzrot Chaim. Why? Rav Chaim Vital, when he passed away, he didn't want anyone to learn Otzrot Chaim. He put it down with him. He either put it in the geniza, or either he took it with him inside the grave. Rav Chaim, with Rav the Baal Chesed LaAvraham, Rabbi Avraham Azulai, he had a friend, best friend. He was a Marano. Rav Yaakov Tzemach. He found out he was Jewish at the age of 40. 40. He got a Brit Milah at the age of 40. And you know what kind of Mekubal he became? We have inside the Etz HaChaim, we have Hagaot Rav Yaakov Tzemach. They together did She'elat Chalom. They asked Rav Chaim Vital, could we dig inside either the Geniza or your grave? Could we take out Otzrot Chaim from there? And Rav Chaim Vital said, Yalla Habibi, let's do this over here. We've been waiting for you guys. They opened it up, they took out Otzrot Chaim, and they took out two other Sefarim, Adam Yashar and Kilot Yaakov. Then the rabbi came, his name was Rabbi Meir Papirash. Go home, light a candle for him. He's the main man. He took all the books together and he made what you see, all the red books over there. Derech Etz HaChaim, Rabbi Meir Papirash. He's the people don't know this tzaddik. I'm telling you about him. He's the main tzaddik. He put it all together. Rabbi Meir Papirash. Okay, Meir, his name is Meir. In your name, you see the power of your name. Meir means to light up the world. Anyways, it's we're coming close. We unfortunately can't get to the parasha. We got to do the P'tichat Eicha. It's almost 10 o'clock. But when you talk about Torah, Tzadikim, Chassidim, we're connected to Tzadikim. It's something unbelievable. You know, I'm going to tell you one last thing. Schud Tzadikim, Chassidim should be megin aleinu. I talked to you about this tzaddik before, a long time ago. I want you guys to go to Gift World, to your nearby Judaica, buy this book. And read it. It was translated by Feldheim not long ago. One of the greatest books to help you in Avodat Hashem. It's called Chovat HaTalmidim. Chovat HaTalmidim. The student's obligation. The student. It's not really talking to the student. It's talking about the Rebbe to teach the student. Yeah. What? The duties? You know this book? You've heard about it. Eish Kodesh. Exactly. Eish Kodesh. Exactly. They're the ones who made all this farim. By the Admor of Piazenza. He was one of the Rebbeim. Yeah. He didn't go. He wasn't smuggled out. He was in Warsaw. He was burnt with his Adat Chassidim. And with that, most of the Chassidut, I think there's a small group in Brooklyn, if I'm not mistaken, a small group. In Woodmere, a small, Piacenza. Yeah. Small, very small. They were a big Chassidut. But when the Rebbe halach la'olamo, zichuto yageinu Hashem yinkom et damo, unfortunately there was no gar'in, there was no seed to the Chassidim should collect around afterwards. I'm going to tell you a book that I've been reading. Chovat HaTalmidim is a must. It's a must. I'm telling you, it's a must. You want to do Avodat Hashem, this is the book. It's fire. It's mamash, it's fire. I read his book, his second book. They found his book under his tiles in the Warsaw Ghetto. He saved his writings over there. It's called Hachsharat HaAvrechim. It's step 2. It's step 2. You know what step 2 is? After you finish Chovat HaTalmidim, you gotta learn Hachsharat HaAvrechim. Unfortunately, he wrote a step 3. We don't have this book anymore.
What?
Hachsharat HaAvrechim. They have it in Hebrew. For a long time, I've been meaning to do shiurim on this book. It's very tough. I myself, I can't learn more than 2 pages at a time.
What's the name of the book you said?
Hachsharat, it's deep, and it's to the soul. Hachsharat ha'avrechim mi'admor pi'asada. We're talking about the great Hasidic Rebbes, so I have to mention this. I have to mention tzaddik. Hachsharat ha'avrechim means to make the avrech. We're all avrechim over here. Kasher. First you were a talmid, then you become an avrech. And this book is just spitting. It's spitting how to act ba'avodat Hashem. I recommend his first book. It's been translated by Feldheim to every single person in this room. You want to do Avodat Hashem? I'll tell you one small thing that he writes over there, if I may, that I've been studying lately a lot, over and over again. And listen to me, we Sfaradim, we have this naturally. Guys, we have this naturally, we have to cultivate it. He says the base in Avodat Hashem is hitragshut. What's hitragshut? Excitement.
With happiness?
Forget about happiness. It's simcha. Hitragshut is excitement. When you come towards a mitzvah, when you're faced a scenario of a mitzvah, you have to be excited. When you lose the excitement of the mitzvah has no value to you. Because there is an issue. The mitzvot that we do every day, he says, we cannot have excitement for that. Why? We do it so many times. First, we have to build our excitement for the rare mitzvot. Or numb. Because how do you do it? He has the whole list over there. How do you do it? One small thing. He says, for example, I'm telling you guys a secret right now. The Gemara, I believe in Masechet Sanhedrin, says that a person who's thinking about doing Averot, right? Let's say you're angry at somebody. Let's say you're angry at him. The guy embarrassed you. He stole money from you. He says, in no way in the world you could stay angry at him unless you think about him. If you don't spend time thinking about the person, what he did to you, how he embarrassed you in public, and you could imagine the moment he does it, you replay it every second in your mind, because you can never get angry at him. If you spend your time thinking about something else, the anger will what? It will subside. He says that's the key of getting excited in mitzvot. Let's say you had one Shabbat, it was very joyful, you had a very spiritual Shabbat. But most of your Shabbats are not spiritual. He says, think in your mind, replay in your mind over and over again that spiritual Shabbat that you had. And think about it over and over. Just like when you want to get angry at somebody, you replay the scenario over and over in your head. He says, replay that spiritual scenario in your head over and over again. And then suddenly you're going to feel, you'll think about it, you'll start to cry. And he says, what's the proof? A person does tikkun chatzot. You guys know what tikkun chatzot is? The midnight lamentation of the destruction of Beit HaMikdash. You'll see people, they'll start to cry. He says, how do they cry? How does a person who never saw the Beit HaMikdash cry over the destruction? You know why? He imagines the Beit HaMikdash and you are where you imagine you are. How do I know you are where you imagine you are? Because if you're not there, how do you feel the physical effect? How do you feel that physical effect? You're angry at somebody, he's not there. Why you don't see him? Because your mind is where you are. Because a person will imagine in his mind that he's in the destruction of Beit HaMikdash, he'll start to cry. It's a reflex. It's because the neshama, it feels it. Your mind feels it. Because when you want to feel spiritual, you have to do the same exact thing. You have to review a spiritual experience over and over in your head. And he says, what's the most spiritual experience, by the way, in the whole Shabbat? Can anybody tell me? I want to see anybody get I want to get the feel of the crowd. Okay, huh? Excellent. The first guy got it.
Take the words out of my mouth.
Suda Shalishit Mincha of Shabbat is the most spiritual feeling of Shabbat. Because when you want to feel spiritual about Shabbat for the next Shabbat, think about Mincha of Shabbat. Why? Shabbat is about to go. You don't want it to go. You feel like a bit of a sadness. He says every Mincha of Shabbat could be a personal Yom Kippur every week. You don't need Yom Kippur once a year. Every Shabbat, Mincha could be a Yom Kippur. And you know what? He took it straight out of the Idor Rabbah of the Zohar HaKadosh. I'm telling you from this. That's what the Idor Rabbah calls Mincha Shabbat. He calls it Yom Kippur. Anyways, I'm not going to take too much of your time, Rabotai. The Torah comes out, in waves. And it's so much, there's so much to learn, this and that. Zchut of the Bat Ayin. We should name the Shiur Hillula. Chassidim and the Hillula of the Bat Ayin. Chassidim and the Bat Ayin. I mean, the Zchut of the Bat Ayin should be Megan, all the people who sponsored. May their wishes come true. Amen. May they have a lot of parnasa tova, zera bar kayama, yeshua, leda kala, v'chol medevah, v'cheni yatzom v'nomar. Amen. Can we say Kaddish over here? Tzaddik.
Yes.
Maybe.